Hello, hi everybody. I'm going to do something today I've never done before, and I wanted to do this, and I don't know how well it might go over, but I thought this is something that I wanted to do after some of the things that have been going on, or I've seen going on, or heard about even going on around the blogosphere regarding, um, you know, um, interracial dating and all that stuff. And as I say, that's not really something I wouldn't call myself an expert. I'm certainly a person that has some experience and knows some stuff, and stuff from my own experience and stuff, but I wouldn't call myself an expert. But I just wanted to say this, I received a notice from someone, and I wanted to read it to you all, and it was from a black woman who was talking about what she didn't like about white men. And she was just saying, "Dear married girl, I've seen some things on the internet about white men talking about they don't like black women because of such and such, and we're fat and things like that, and there's stuff about us that they want us to fix before they date us." And I'd like to come to you today and ask you to read this letter, and I'd like for you to let white men know why black women won't date them, and what they need to fix about themselves before we consider taking them on as an option. White men seem to have a thing where when they don't wash their hair gets really greasy, and it's really gross and disgusting, and the lice thing is really ugh and really disgusting, and I just can't stand it. Also, they all seem to love going out and playing golf all the time, and leaving their wives and girlfriends alone to do stuff like play golf and wear those funny clothes. Also, they want to take you to concerts that you don't really like. I've been to a couple of rock and roll concerts with white guys, and I went to a punk rock show with a white guy once, and someone slammed into me and knocked me to the floor. And one time a guy took me to a country concert, and I felt like I was at a Klan rally. I don't really like those. I find that white men can't really dance, and they don't have much rhythm, And to me, rhythm says a lot about who the man is and what he can do when it comes to being in the bedroom. I also wanted to say that they don't really try to fit in, and they don't really try to fit in at black functions with black people. I've taken white dates to barbecues with my family and asked him to bring something maybe for the barbecue, and he doesn't bring anything good. Once a guy brought hot dogs and hamburgers to a barbecue, and my family members were like, "Didn't he know this was a barbecue? Didn't he know that this is a barbecue, and that when you come to a barbecue, if you bring chicken or you bring ribs, that this is not hamburgers and hot dogs I can cook on the stove?" I mean, it's just making me really think really hard about whether or not I want to continue to date white men. I know it's been ingrained in them that they're superior to everyone, and that they think that they don't have to fit in and everyone else has to fit in with them. But they need to know that, just like they have options, black women have options also. We're free to pick and choose whoever it is that we want to be with. I just wanted to let you know this. Because I think your blog is a good place to get out this message. Sincerely, black woman who's giving it to white men like it should be. I'm doing a bit of satire today. There is no letter. There's nothing. There's no letter here. There's not a thing. But after the letter about the white guy that didn't like fat black women, I thought to myself, I'd really like to hear or see a letter from a black woman saying why she doesn't like white men, and stuff. I like to hear a black woman say what's defective about white men to her, that she's thinking about not dating them, or maybe they need to do some changes, or they need to assimilate into something else, And I'm saying this because, as ridiculous as that sounds, is as ridiculous as the other letter sounds. It sounds ridiculous. And there could probably be, if that was a real letter, there could probably be 1 million black women that would write me, or white men that would write me to tell me why that's wrong, and we're not really like that, and, that's not really the way we are. Which is all true. Because just like white men, black women are really varied. I mean, we're really, really varied and stuff. Even though we may even get sucked in by our own media image, when you know black women and you know who we are, and you see us, then you know how varied we are. It seems in my old age, I meet, and particularly because of the internet, I meet more and more black women, and I find out, even for myself, more and more how black women are varied, how we are different from one another and stuff. And we're so varied and we're so different that if there's somebody out there, for a guy who decides he wanted to date black women, there will be somebody for you. And just like the same thing for black women, if there's somebody out there to date you for who you are, if you like who you are and accept who you are, then you'll be able to find him. It is not this impossibility. It's not impossible, okay? The amount of available non-black men out there is not some really small pot, and it's certainly not as small as people try to act like it is. That decision to kind of make that letter up and to write that, to make it up and to read it to you off of this empty piece of paper was just sort of my attempt at being sort of silly and satirical and stuff, So don't write here and, get your panties all in a bunch and all that stuff, please, and stuff. But it's just to show the sort of ridiculousness of, of really talking about all this sort of stereotypical stuff, just really stereotypical stuff, as some sort of stuff to sort of berate a set of people or to make a set of people feel bad, and stuff. Tell you the truth, the reason that a lot of black women date white men, and like white men, is because, hey, they do listen to rock and roll. And there's some black women that really like rock and roll. And they found this guy that has something in common, in common with them and stuff, I mean, it doesn't matter about the guy not being able to dance. And it may not matter that the guy did bring hot dogs and hamburgers for a barbecue or whatever, or stuff. Or he may not even do that. It's just they found somebody to have something in common with, And I want black women also to understand. I hear all this talk, and one of my commenters, the readers of my blog said in some comments, but I hear all this talk about white men having so many options. They have so many options and stuff. They have so many options and stuff, as if you have no options at all. And stuff, and you just ought to be thankful they're looking your way and stuff. But black women, you need to know that you also have options, and stuff. You don't really have to date a white guy. There's lots of different guys that you could possibly date. There's lots of different men in this world, okay? You don't really have to date a guy from the United States. You can go somewhere else and find a guy to date, and stuff. You don't have to put up with this sort of thing that somehow you should just be so thankful because you're so defective, and stuff. You're not the one that's trying to gain love and affection. And to tell you the truth, when a man finds, and from the biblical sense, and I know everybody doesn't read the Bible and everybody's not a Christian, but from the biblical sense, it always says when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. So when a man finds a woman to love and to cherish and to make his wife, that's actually a blessing to him, you know, or at least it ought to be seen upon it. It shouldn't be seen as some kind of burden, and it shouldn't be seen as something, well, you know, I gotta fix her up, or I gotta make her different, or I gotta assimilate her, or whatever, you know, and stuff. It's just, it's not okay. I'm not asking white men, I was never asking when I dated white men to jump through hoops of fire. Nobody was going to ask me to jump through a hoop of fire because I wasn't going to jump, okay? But I'm not asking white men to jump through hoops of fire. I'm not asking for them to do a bunch of, you know, of impossible things, you know, and stuff, or to twist themselves into knots, or to change themselves into other people, or to literally change themselves into a black man, you know, whatever that means, to, you know, for them to have dated me. That wasn't what, now, you know, whoever you were, that's who you needed to be. And if I couldn't accept that, then I needed to move on, you know, and stuff. It's not fair to ask people to do all those things, you know, and stuff. If you can't find the person of your dreams within the millions of people that are in this world, you know, and stuff. And I'm telling you, I'm not, you know, I'm talking about these, you know, most of these people, most of us are from a big city or living in a big city. If you can't find one person in that city that fits your criteria, you know, and stuff, personally, I think you ought to move out of the city then. But if you just can't, then maybe you got some issues. Maybe it really is something with you, okay? You know, nobody's perfect, and nobody's going to be perfect. And as much as you want to strive for perfection, there will never be perfection. There will never be a perfect woman. There will never be a perfect man. And so when people are asking you to stretch yourself to the limits of personal and physical perfection, then people are asking for the impossible. And once again, I'm going to call that abuse. I'm going to call that emotional abuse. I'm going to call it what it is. I made a promise to myself that I'd call out emotional abuse when I saw it. When people ask for those sort of things, I'm calling it what it is. It's emotional abuse, you know, and stuff. And nobody, man or woman, should have to take that. So that was just my commentary on that. And like I say, that was a fake letter. That was not a real letter. There was a letter just made up by me. And, you know, I thought it would be fun to make a letter up, because that's the letter I've been waiting for, you know. So that's the letter I've been waiting for. You know, not some letter from some white guy telling me how defective I am. I've been waiting for somewhere a black woman, you know, sticks it to the man, so to speak, and stuff. So, you know, but hey, if I gotta make it up, good enough. So I'll see you guys later, and you know, I hope everybody has a good rest of the day. Bye.